everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hey Eintracht Frankfurt podcast, the Bundesliga podcast covering everything there is to know in the English language about Eintracht Frankfurt. We love the Frauen Bundesliga. They're the fucking shit. The Männer are playing like shit. We'll go into it soon on here. Garret here at Metro Detroit. Joined as always lately in here, my good friend John in Delaware. Pretty soon, come 2025, it might be a new tagline. Tease. But
yeah. Soon to be John in Virginia. It's where I'm from, and I've wanted to move back there for a while, and it's finally going to happen here, and very excited to go back. Finally can get my full-on Spirit season tickets, so I don't have to worry about going to games and driving 3 hours every weekend during the summer. So, yeah, it'll be good.
Exciting times for you laying ahead here. And we're going to talk about today one part of Eintracht Frankfurt that is still exciting times. And unfortunately, so there's going to be Christmas is next week here for all that are observing, celebrating all of the festive and hobby holidays in general to everybody. Whatever it is you're going to be celebrating this coming time, there's going to be a little bit of a theme here. And I think we're going to go to, I think people will like this, hopefully. And if not, can't say we didn't warn you. So as we get in here and start things off, so we're going to start off with the joys of the holiday season. Eintracht Frankfurt Frauen, who I'm going to admit I had the day off on Friday, and I was rolling around doing errands. And even though I recorded something the day before about our second segment, which I'm not going to talk about that yet because this is a good portion, right? Something to bring us joy, I completely blanked until I got home that Eintracht Frankfurt Frauen was at Frei at 12:30 in the fucking night. And I eventually went and I saw the highlights. Shout out to the club for their 3-minute highlight video on their website, German feed. And I know the match was on DAZN. I will say in a match that saw, I know we had talked about a waterlogged pitch the weekend before for Frei, looked a little bit like an ice parade. Made the Waldstadions look like a majestic piece on a nice art canvas. Words I'd never fucking imagine. And at the end of the day was 3 points, goals all scored in the second half. 3 of them, in fact, for Eintracht Frankfurt Frauen. Wamser in the 68th, super sub Chiba in the 86th, Frei in the 89th, Frei in a 0, Eintracht Frankfurt Frauen 3. Oh, wait. I predicted that last week. So, fucking go for it, right? Rückrunde underway. Eintracht Frankfurt Frauen. It's top of the table. Last match 2024 complete. Why? So, Ghost of Frankfurt present. I want to say diva present, but divas can be good, bad, and good, right?
No, I mean the diva is the diva, right? To be fair, I don't think that the diva applies to the Frauen like it does to the men. We don't have enough of a timeline for that yet to be certain about it. Although, losing to Wolfsburg after their goalie gets a red in the Pokal a few years ago might say otherwise. But I don't know. I mean, this has been such an incredible first half of the season for the Frauen. I got to say, I was filming offshore on Friday, and I was thinking, all right, I'm going to get back around 3. I'm going to miss this match. We're fishing for bluefin tuna, catch our limit early, so we get back early. I'm able to watch the match. I'm like, all right, let's go. And then for the first 70 minutes of it, I'm like, God, we're the better team, but just can't fucking score at all. And finally, we break through near the end, score 3 goals, win the game easily, 3-0. This team has so much resiliency, like just pushing through, not the cleanest performance at all. It was a decent match up until that point, but just not a really clinical, not a clean one. And they're able to find their way by the end, easily beat a lesser opponent on a really terrible pitch. I mean, that pitch was honestly atrocious.
Yeah.
It was clearly feeling the effects of the week before. They weren't able to get it back up to standard. But let's talk about Laura Freigang, man. She is just going off. What a player she's been. I mean, highest goal scorer in the Frauen Bundesliga right now. I mean, she's highest in expected goals as well, and she's also creating a lot of chances for her teammates. It's such a joy to watch her. You know, last year we had a lot of questions about her. You know, she obviously missed a lot of penalties. She wasn't playing her best. There were rumors about her leaving over that past summer, but she shored up her contract situation. You know, didn't have the disappointment of a you know, an exit from the World Cup before, and she's playing absolutely amazing football right now. You know, gets another goal today. I forget if she got an assist or helped create one of the other goals happen, but she's just been on absolute fire, and what an amazing just joy to watch so far this year.
Goal and assist listed for Freigang here on the FOTMob sheet. 8.8 rating on FOTMob. I'm looking at some of these stats here. Of course, one thing that I'm going to enjoy is the possession percentage, which was a nice amount of possession, aka 69%. And I'm looking here at this team. Nicole Anyomi had to leave a little bit earlier in the 40th minute. Carlotta Vomser comes on. Another good goals in consecutive matches for Vomser. Chiba, I know it's been talked about that maybe we should see Chiba featuring more on the side, but 5 goals, most of them in substitute appearances. People finding their roles, it seems like, on this team and gelling, whether it's you're in the starting 11, whether you're coming in for minutes and clicking for it. I think that's like my fun thing taking a look is this team's vibing for the most part.
You know, 100%. I mean, you saw Vomser come in and she was all over the pitch. I think she's such a fun player to watch just because she's such a spark plug. You know, maybe the full-on quality isn't quite there with her, but she's still very young and can figure that out. And then Chiba as well, great performance from her against Jena, and she's really turning it on this year. You know, she's coming into her own, and obviously, you know, coming over to a country where she has no idea about the culture, no context for the language. I mean, like, it's such a huge adjustment, and that's why I think that bringing her in over the winter last year instead of waiting for a summer was such a massive thing for them. Like, yeah, you know, maybe you want to play her in some games by the end of last year just to get her a little acclimated, but you want to bring her in early so that you can start to get her fully acclimated to the German culture, like everything with the league, with the culture, with the language, all of that, and then have another summer to go before her first full season. And I think that is paying true benefits because she has been on it. I mean, yeah, what would you say? 5 goals for her this year, I think it is. And yeah. I mean, what is that? Second in the team, I think tied with Anyomi or maybe one ahead of Anyomi. So yeah, it's been a really fun season for her as well.
I think the only one with more right now, Reutler's got it's
right. Yeah,
11, Anyomi at 6, Reutler and Chiba. So
yeah.
I think I'm looking at this team right now, and it's just like they seem to just be really, really gelling. Looking a bit also around the Bundesliga. So that was the first Jena and Frankfurt Frauen was the first matchup. 3-0 Frankfurt away win. Bayer Leverkusen Freiburg 2-0 to Bayer Leverkusen. Werder Bremen 1, Wolfsburg 3, Bayern Munich 2, Turbine Potsdam 0, Hoffenheim 1, SGS Essen 0. And the sadness for our friends at 50 Plus Donor because FC Cologne 1, RB Leipzig 3. You let Leipzig score 3 goals. Shame.
All right. I mean, to be fair, that's not super surprising.
Because it's Cologne, right?
Well, I mean, no, because that Leipzig attack for the Frauen, especially because they have Vanessa Fudala back in the starting lineup today. They had Giovanna Hoffman up front. They had all their starters playing today, so I'm not surprised that they scored 3 goals. Cologne, yeah, they're not great this year, unfortunately. Man, I still can't believe Firesinger went there. Like, I was looking at the lineup today, and I had completely forgotten that Laura Firesinger had gone there. And it was like, man, if she can't make a difference there, I'm worried. I mean, they're lucky. Only one team's going down, and it's not going to be them. But yeah, I mean, that Leipzig side, I honestly think, is somewhat underperforming this year. I think they have a better side than being halfway through the table.
Yeah, and I look at it, and that was kind of like my thing because it looked so easy, I think, in our matchup. Controlled the game for them to go and respond to this. And if people are like, well, you're all harsh on Donor, I have my reasons. We'll talk about it in the Männer section on Thursday from there. So the point being is I think there's a lot of fun road on here. The Frauen are off until February 1st in league play. They're going to be hosting Bayer Leverkusen. So people know it looks like that the Freiburg-Bayer Leverkusen redo of match day 1 has been scheduled January 26th, 6 a.m. Eastern here. Oh, God. Freiburg-Bayer Leverkusen, part 2. Also on January
1-1 draw or something like that.
Also on January 26th at 8 a.m. Eastern.
Hoffenheim.
More painful. Carly Siena, Hoffenheim. Will the pitch be dry? Will it be an ice capade? We got a month to find out. Also announced yesterday, Frauen Pokal. The quarterfinal matchups have been set up. So as I switch out of Frauen Bundesliga on my FOTMOB tablet here to that, the fixtures are set up with all looking like they are on either February 11th or 12th. I swear Google said February 11th. FOTMOB's here saying February 12th. Stay tuned for exact fixture times here. Bayer Leverkusen, Werder Bremen, TSG Hoffenheim, VfL Wolfsburg, Hamburg, and Borussia Mönchengladbach. So does 2 old goats apply here to Frauen Bundesliga, or is that only for the Männer?
I mean, the problem with that matchup for the Frauen is, let's be real, Mönchengladbach is very lucky to be in that situation. They're a 3rd-tier side right now, and I don't think they're going to stand a chance against a Hausfall side that is honestly prime for promotion. The discrepancy in talent between, first, second, third division in the women's game, unfortunately, is just so much higher that, in the men's game, yes, it's 2 old goats. They're 2 of the most historic sides, for sure. In the women's game, that is unfortunately just not the case.
Yep.
And while I'm glad that is the matchup because they are the most evenly matched sides for each other, in that I still think that there's no way Hausfall. I mean, I don't know. I guess Mönchengladbach did beat Essen, who I don't think gets that bad of a side. So we'll see. But
people might notice we didn't talk about one match because it's biased. Not only are we saying we're saving the best for last because we are biased. We are also got to talk about this because this is the fixture of the Frauen Pokal, and I think it's a good. And that is Bayern Munich, Eintracht Frankfurt, quarterfinal, another trip to Munich. I think it's kind of fitting in a way, John, that last year was the semifinal for the Frauen Pokal. This year is the quarters. In the Frauen Bundesliga, Bayern Munich might be the singular roadblock if we play our cards right.
Yeah. No.
And
100%.
to also to get closer to Berlin, you got to beat Bayern Munich.
It's not closer to Berlin for the Frauen because it's closer to Cologne, right?
Oh yeah, good point too. I always forget Frauen stuff's in Cologne and not.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'd rather go to Cologne for a final than Berlin, just personally. But no, it's going to be a tough matchup. I mean, I don't think that the only quote unquote easy matchup would have been against Mönchengladbach. Like, I think given that they beat Essen and played them well, that's still a tough matchup. I think HSV is a side that is worthy of the Erste Divisie for next year, and they'll be there. So, there are never easy matchups, especially in a cup competition. And, if we want to win competitions, we have to beat the best opponents, and that includes beating Bayern. And it's a team that we have played really well over the past few years, honestly. I mean, I'm trying to think back just in my head about the score lines over the past 2 seasons, and it's like no games have had more than 2 goals per side overall. And, we lose in penalties during the semifinal of the Pokal last year. And quite frankly, that was because we took some atrocious penalties. I think we can put that behind us. I think we can play a better game. And if it comes to penalties, we will do better. But I don't think it's going to get to that point. I think that we have a real possibility of beating them in regulation and or extra time this time around. I think they're a little bit weaker than last year. I think we're a little bit better than last year. And it's a great opportunity to win. I mean, look, let's be real. We're going for the double this year, right? Like, that's our goal. We always have wanted to win the Pokal. We have a team to compete for the Meisterschale, and we are doing that right now, and that's our goal. Right now, that's our goal, and I think if you want to achieve that, you have to beat the best. I think we can do that, and I think we can get both.
So, to end 2024 calendar year, the beginning of the ruck run that's taking place, there's 10 matches left in the Frauen Bundesliga. Rock bottom is Turbine Potsdam, still on 1 point, still on 1 goal. Next to them, still on 3 points, still on 3 goals, because I nailed that prediction, FC Karlsruhe. In 10th place, with 10 goals, but they've only gotten 5 points, our friends at FC Köln, 8 of their 34 goals conceded were against Eintracht Frankfurt Frauen. What's up? In 9th place with 8 points, SGS Essen with only 9 goals scored. But they've only conceded 16, so if anything, they're proven to be a difficult out. We scored 3 against Essen, didn't we?
Yeah, it was either 2 or 3. I can't remember. Either way. I mean, they're not a bad side, but they're not, unfortunately, competing how they have the past few years.
They are a side that's like a mess side. Hoffenheim, 8th place, 5 wins, 6 losses, with 15 points. Werder Bremen in 7th, as I'm flipping up and down because unfortunately the Heat, the Pistons were up by 13 and now it's in overtime with the Heat because Tyler fucking hero. Werder Bremen 7th, 5 wins, 2 draws, 5 losses, 17 points. RB Leipzig in 6th place, 19 points, 6 wins, 18 goals scored. Freiburg in 5th with 20 points. We mentioned that Bayer Leverkusen and Freiburg have only played 11. They'll get the repeat match they won. Bayer Leverkusen is in 4th with 26 points, but they do have that game in hand that will have a massive play ahead of February 1st.
Well, I mean, it's not really a game in hand because I think right now, right, the standings are counting them with the win.
Not anymore. Not on FOTMOB.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So FOTMOB's got Leverkusen and Freiburg at 11 games played.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then Hoffenheim and Jena also at 11, and then everyone else at 12.
Gotcha.
So Bayer Leverkusen with 20 currently per the FOTMOP standings, fourth place with 26 points out of 11 games played. Top three have each currently had 12 matches listed. Wolfsburg in third with 28 points. 30 goals scored, 10 allowed. Also with 10 goals allowed is Bayern Munich, but with 1 point more at 29, 33 goals scored. Top of the table, also on 29 points, but with 38 goals scored and 5 goals allowed. Eintracht Frankfurt Frauen.
Can we even look? I mean, that is insane. Absolutely insane. What the work that our Frauen have done this year is so incredible. It's honestly one of the most fun sides I've ever watched play football. You know, they're so free flowing, and yet still have the defensive acumen. Like it's something you don't see often in football. You know, usually you see either a side that's super free flowing and concedes a lot, like our men's team. You see a side that is defensively amazing and doesn't really score a lot, or you see a side that's like okay at both. Rarely do you see a side that is absolutely elite at both ends of the pitch and in the middle of the pitch. I mean, in every part of the pitch, this Frauen side is truly elite. It is just such an incredible watch right now. They're so good.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be kind of the thing right there is they're dominating games through their attack and controlling games for the most part. And they may have had only a couple of matches this year where you had really teams that were even with them, and I was later Bayern Munich. And then you had the one matchup where they were not completely on, but couldn't get it going, and that's the game against Werder Bremen. So it's a fun sight, and hopefully that the current Happy Diva presence lingers on into 2025. All right, we've been hiding from this long enough. We need to talk about it now. Now the ghost of Diva past that's might have morphed into the present. It's got to talk about Dino and the lads of Eintracht of the Männer. Before we get into that, we need to talk about what transpired online. I think on Blue Sky Thursday prior to the Eintracht Frankfurt Europa League match at Lyon. And it was on the 50-plus donor Discord that it said something of Frankfurt by 10.
Okay, hold up. Okay, so some context for this.
Which we've done before.
Hold up. Okay. So this guy, Andrew, who's a Bundesliga poster on Blue Sky, he posts a hat of the day every match day, like, basically Thursday through Monday. And his hat for Thursday was an Eintracht Frankfurt hat, a very fly one, I might add. It was a very nice hat. And so Jake, who is 50-plus donor, he responded with Frankfurt by 10 because, of course, he's got to push the Bundesliga agenda. That didn't end so well, did it?
I waited because it got dropped in our circles. It was either you or Nathan that dropped it first. And
I think it was Nathan because I don't think I said anything about it.
Oh, you saw I immediately responded to that. It's just like,
yeah.
And you know what? For a moment on the Europa League start, it looked like, okay, we might be doing all right. But, we talked about, had the recap on there. Yes, Pistons won overtime. Let's go. The final score of the Europa League matchup was Olympic Lyon A3, Eintracht Frankfurt 2. The Orange Kits were not good luck. That match could have been worse because Olympic Lyon A. I think the book is out on how to beat us, on how to try to take, and I blame that Pokal match. Team starting off hot, starting the game hot, quick pressing, running Lyonnais full speed talent. Thankfully for them not being accurate with the shots and Kevin Trapp making some big saves, it could have been a lot worse than 3-2. And then fast forward to, we're not going to do around the Europa League because it doesn't deserve the attention after a game like that. Still in the spots.
Too much to do anyway.
Yeah, there's still 2 matches left on there. Then to the Bundesliga matchup on Sunday, a trip back to RB Leipzig, where 12 days ago now, were eliminated from the Pokal in a 3-0 loss. A weekend that could have saw some great benefit in the Bundesliga for Eintracht Frankfurt. To do a brief around the Bundesliga for this past weekend, Freiburg-Wolfsburg started out 3-2, Freiburg with the win. Saturday, Bayer Leverkusen won 2-0 at Augsburg, Mönchengladbach 4, Holstein Kiel 1, Union Berlin 1, Bochum 1. That matchup might see some shenanigans on that one. John, well, we can talk about that real quick. Fill us in what happened late in the match.
Yeah. So, early in the stoppage time of the Union Berlin-VfL Bochum match, an Union fan threw a lighter at the VfL Bochum goalkeeper, Patrick Davis. It hit him in the head. He ended up going off. He ended up going to the hospital to get evaluated. So they suspended the match. Everyone went to their dressing rooms. And then the referee, in consultation with the league, brought the teams back out onto the pitch for, to play the rest of the 5 minutes of stoppage time, which the event happened very early into stoppage time. But when they re-kicked the ball, both Union and Bochum had decided that they were just going to kick the ball around. They weren't going to play those 5 minutes. And so the game ended in a 1-1 draw. The ref ended the game early. And today, Bochum announced that they are appealing the decision of the game. So I don't know if it will try to get the game replayed or not, or what the situation is going to be with that. I don't know if that will be successful or not. I have a feeling that the ultimate result of that game will stand, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I mean, honestly, ugly scenes, because you never want to see a player get hit with a projectile in a game. And the word after was that Union found out who threw the projectile and have punished them going forward. So at least that's some good news. Huh?
Banning order? Lifetime?
I don't know what the punishment is. All I know is that they've caught him. I don't know what the punishment is.
Yeah, and that's something where, in Bochum's case, because a player of theirs did have to go and get checked out in a hospital, that, in theory, because of that, the appeal, I think, could be that match becomes a forfeit by Union Berlin, potentially, and Bochum get 3 points based off of that. Which in some cases we've seen in Europe with fan trouble before. In a match, it rules a forfeit by the home side, a new away team gets 3 points. It could be you redo, it could be you do the stoppage time competitively. It might be hard in that case for Bochum, since both teams of players agreed to do a kick around essentially for 5 minutes. So that one, yeah, I agree. It's unfortunate that situation's happened on there. I'm glad that thankfully that it didn't get completely worse from there, because there's always been for something in an initial state to get completely worse. The game at 12:30 that saw ultras side by side with each other, lighting flares and having fun. St. Pauli 0, Werder Bremen 2. The last matchup on Saturday was our Meteor match. And motherfucking Mainz 2, Bayern Munich 1.
Hey, whoa. Oh, it's Pauli Bremen. I don't know. I thought Pauli Bremen was the last match. I don't know.
Yeah, Pauli Bremen was the last match at 12:30, but I decided to save the Mainz Munich.
Oh, okay. I got you now.
Because I had the significance of the Meteor. I said the Meteor.
Fair enough.
I said the Meteor match was definitely on there, and I was shocked because we're like, yeah, but fucking Mainz.
Hey, I said there was a possibility of some
no
shit.
Burkhart too.
No, and he went out injured after nearly scoring a goal. I mean, the guy ran down the field, shot just wide, and he pulled his hamstring on the shot. What a situation. I mean, look, I don't wish injury on any player, but if there's a team that I don't want to have a certain player for going into next week, it's Clown Club.
Yeah, so now I got Benny Hill stuck in my head. God damn it. But yeah, so Mainz takes Bayern Munich's first loss of the Bundesliga season. Comes at the hands of fucking Mainz. So that was sad.
Bo Henriksen has that team playing fucking incredible ball right now. I hate to see it, but I gotta respect it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's not dire. It's not drab football.
No,
they're having a go. They're trying to have a go of it. They're going for it, and you know what? We can at least respect that. And then Sunday, Heidenheim 1, Stuttgart 3. Then the next matchup was what I referred to as the asteroid match, right? Which was Dortmund and Hoffenheim. And you know what? I think this is going to be one of the only times where I'm going to be happy for a Hoffenheim equalizer in the 91st minute against Dortmund. So, Gio Reyna with a goal in the 46th minute and happy at Dortmund. I was sorry. At the photo to see if his dad was in the photo at all. But
that was a banger of a goal, not gonna lie. I mean, freaking just full on laces right through the ball, top corner, hell of a strike.
I was not watching any of the first two Bundesliga matches because of what my earlier Sunday morning was.
Yeah, facts, dude. I mean, hey, look, I was also watching some stuff on Premier League that weekend. I mean, not on Sunday, but you know.
Yeah. So shout out to former Eintracht Frankfurt manager Eintracht manager and current Crystal Palace manager Oliver Glasner, as Crystal Palace defeated a Bayer Leverkusen club fan friendship of Brighton and Hove Albion in the M23 derby. Brighton 1, Palace 3. Let's fucking go.
Well, hold up here. Did you just say Leverkusen fan friendship?
So fun story about this. Yes. So
that's a thing.
Leverkusen and Brighton. So 4 years ago, and we'll get back to Leipzig, Frankfurt, because we're going to find ways to fun things. So my English friends who are in there, they were at a match, and there was German Polizei in Brighton, and they're like, "What's the situation?" And it was because Leverkusen and Brighton have a friend. So the aspirin and the Tesco grocery store Club of England have a fan friendship. You didn't know this?
Yeah, no, I didn't. And the funny part is, right? Like I try and pride myself on understanding most of the fan friendships and fan hatreds over Europe. I mean, maybe it's because I don't care enough about the Premier League or Bayer Leverkusen to know, but I had no idea. That's such a weird. It almost makes sense with how weird it is, that friendship. But all right, I mean, have at it, guys. I guess that is. Yeah, thank God y'all beat them, though. You know.
I'm happy for that. I know John's happy because Ipswich pulled out one late at Wolves, got Gary O'Neill sacked.
And hiring a manager who hasn't held a Wolves. This is hiring a manager who hasn't held a job for over a year for the past 10 years.
Who they hire?
Some Portuguese guy. I can't remember his name, but
did they hire Villas Boas?
No, no. I think it was someone else, but.
I'm about to look this thing up.
Irrelevant to this podcast, though.
Very irrelevant, but we're still having fun talking about all this stuff. So with all that being said, 1:30 came around. Bayern crapping the bed earlier. Frankfurt needed a result to get a win to hang on to second place and to be a little bit closer to the league leaders. Taking on an RB Leipzig side that caught me off guard because Leverkusen wore the home kits in their own barn in the Pokal.
Yeah.
I get home because I went and saw my mom after the Palace Morty match and got home around kickoff of our match, Leipzig Frankfurt, and was stunned to see the Marlboro kits in Leipzig in what our fearless leader Brian has referred to a family-friendly stadium, and Eintracht Frankfurt's wearing their Marlboro cigarette-influenced kits. So Leipzig rolling in their darker ways, not their velvet red ways, but which the fan kits are velvet, not the player kits, but they're red camo-ish, whatever the fuck we're calling that.
I don't know what the fuck those were. It doesn't even matter.
But I will say Leipzig was channeling the thing of a military, because once again they kind of were going on us early to start the match off. Šeško beats Kevin Trapp in a battle in the 19th minute for a header. 1-0. It looked like it was going to be down that route of what we've been down here before. Kamujan, Nathaniel Brown, that Nuremberg partnership friendship. Great fucking strike by Nathaniel Brown, left foot posting in. 1-1 at the half. They gave us hope. These fuckers gave us hope at halftime. And then 5-6 minutes to start the second half. Corner. Luis Openda could have stretched. He could have just tied his shoes. He had space and buries it. And we can talk about. I'll leave you to talk about the rest of the game, of the match, and feel like because I think this was a better match in Leipzig than the one on December. But I'm still wasn't one to give me joy. And I'm not just saying that because it was Leipzig 2, Eintracht Frankfurt 1 the final. I'm just saying it because it was 4 matches winless now. Something's up.
No, I mean, and it was not a great game from us at all. Leipzig were the better side, and they deserved to win that game. We had our opportunities to tie it. I mean, you look at the Marmouche shot off the crossbar and a few other opportunities. But, I mean, you look at the goals that we conceded. Their first goal, you've got 2 issues there. First off, Koch, he could have stepped up with the rest of the line, put whether it was Šeško or someone else, I forget exactly who it was, offside to begin the play. And then when he did do that, Nathaniel Brown is looking at the ball, going to trap. It comes off of him, goes to someone else, and he looks the complete wrong way, completely loses everything that's going on, and they're able to put it right in the back of the net. So bad mistakes by Koch, by Brown. And then on the Openda goal, I mean, we joked about how bad our corner defending was against Bayern in our draw against them, because 2 of the goals, the first 2 goals that we gave up, were just comical defending on corners.
Clown car defending.
Yeah. This was worse. It's mostly on Knauf, but it's on everyone too. We just left Openda completely wide open at the back of the goal to just boot it in however the fuck you want it. And they rightly came away with a victory in that game. There were good moments from us. I mean, obviously Uzun's, backside hit over to Brown to set up the goal. Amazing strike from Brown. I thought that Dahoud looked really good on the ball. Yeah, he's got some work to do off the ball, but on the ball, he made some amazing passes. Really liked what I saw from Wheelin in this game. But it was obviously a very different match from how we played them in the Pokal. Different lineup, different playing styles. And I don't know, I think it shows our ability to change our game and play differently. But at the same time, I think if anything, it shows that Leipzig side has way more quality than I think a lot of people are ready to give them credit for, because they are a really, really good side. I think that if they win this coming weekend against Bayern, they will only be 3 points behind after having a very down month and a half, right? And I hate to say it, but that side is really fucking good.
And I think also, too, what I'm starting to see is Lyon, Leipzig, both Leipzig matches in Lyon, and for part of the Augsburg match. The Augsburg match, I think we were back to more of our traditional shape of this season that we've come to know. I'm confirming that as I'm looking it up right now. We're seeming to go back lately to 3 at the back, like a little more. And I don't know if with this unit, if that is the best idea, or is it just because a lot of matches are coming, we're going through a lot of matches at one time, and you were seeing essentially like trying to slot players in and out. The Hood being subbed off after 52 yesterday, is that because of the yellow card? It looked like he was going to the tunnel after.
Yeah, I it could have been because of the yellow. I think he might have ran his race as well. That one was a little bit weird because I was surprised at the time when it happened, but it seemed like when he was going off, like he needed to go off, which is unfortunate because, in my opinion, he's a player that we're going to need to play a lot. I personally trust him more than Skiri. I think I might trust him more than Larson as well. I think he's a better overall midfielder than either of them.
He's also played 72 minutes against Augsburg last weekend. He played the full 90 against Lyon. So, because I thought he was going to drop, normally he would be one, especially coming off injuries lately in the last year, somebody that I would expect to be more like popping in and out. So that might have been part of it.
No, it easily could, because, yeah, he's played a lot more minutes recently than he has been expected to. He hasn't played a lot over the past few years, whether it's injury or personnel decisions by his teams. So, yeah, I will say that I was very, very pleased by Oscar Wheelin's appearance again. I think that guy can be something for us in the midfield. And something like of a more defensive presence that I don't think you get with a Skiri, Larson, or Dahoud. Well, I like all 3 of them a lot. I think that Wheelin offers just that little bit different of a profile in the midfield that you need. In terms of the backline shape, yeah, it was more of a back 3/5 in this match. You had Tea as the left center back, Koch as the center back, Christensen as the right center back, and then Knauf and Brown as your wing backs. And while, theoretically that can work against some teams, that is a super, super attacking minded back line, because, yeah, Teat can play that left center back. He's not bad there. Christensen is not really a center back. And then you've got Knauf and Brown, who are definitely way more attacking players. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is going to be for this back line going forward, because at the end of the day, our issues in this Hinrunde have been defensively. We have been scoring so many goals in absolutely incredible ways from, mostly Marmoush and Ekitike, but still, like, a lot of different players. But we've allowed a lot of goals. And when you look at the players that we have on the back line, it's like, you've got Robin Koch, you've got Tuta, you've got Tea, you've got Christensen. Like, these are not bad players at all. No. And yet something is going wrong back there. And I don't know if that's, whether you need a personnel change, because, I mean, hell, we had William Pacho last year, and the dude was calm as a fucking ice, man, and really completely changed our game. So maybe it is a player. Maybe it is something we do different back there. I don't know. I'm not sure what to think.
I'm just looking right now. We've given up 2 goals or more in league play 8 times this year already.
Yeah.
Leipzig, 2 in consecutive matches again. Like from latest to first, Leipzig, Augsburg, Stuttgart, Bochum. Granted, we put 7 against Bochum, but we still gave them 2. Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich, Holstein Kiel, and Borussia Dortmund. So I think it's the frustration part in that, I think, because there were some moments in the attack where it's like, hey, you could be worthy of a point. But again, even with the 2 that we allowed, the Leipzig, it could have been worse had it not been for some trap saves. Andre Silva almost got one on as a sub, which would have really fucking sucked if that was the case.
Hey, let's be real. Andre Silva, he was never scoring, and he barely shot the ball. So, but no, I mean, Trapp was man of the match by far that game. He saved us almost a point.
So I'd say, yeah, so I think that's like the kind of big thing. We're going to go around the Bundesliga when we preview the table, what's looking at leading into this next weekend. But right now, we got to get out of this, ghost of present pain shit for a minute and go into something more joyous. Hashtag, what are we drinking, John?
Right now, I am drinking some Kozel. Unfortunately, it's only the Lejak, the light, but the Kozel Cherny, the Kozel Dark, is one of my favorite beers in the world. It's a Czech beer, obviously, and the light suffices when necessary, and that has to do when you can't find the dark in the States.
I currently right now have a cup of black tea going in. Later at night, I got one more. I got to reheat the kettle for the other one on there. Although maybe I'll just, now that the water is lukewarm, maybe I'll just add to my cold water jug and just have everything on there. But to everyone, wherever you're drinking, whenever you're drinking it, we say Prost and cheers, especially as we get closer and closer into these holiday seasons. So the Frauen Bundesliga are done. The Eintracht Frankfurt Frauen are done playing football for 2024. They are off until February 1st. The Männer have one more match in this calendar year. A year that has been great, joyous, painful, all of the things in there. It ends this coming Saturday for 2024, and that involves our dear friends, foes, fucking clown shows. Mainz coming to the Waldstadion. Before we get into the matchups, we'll go into the table. Bochum, rock bottom, 14 matches played, 3 points. We'll see what happens with their appeal in Union. Holstein Kiel, next to bottom, 5 points. FC Heidenheim still in the 16th promotion relegation at 10. St. Pauli 15th with 11 points. Hoffenheim 14th with 14 points. Augsburg 13 with 16 points. Union Berlin are in 12th. They have 17 points. Borussia Mönchengladbach with 21 points in 11th. Wolfsburg also with 21 points. They got the better goal difference. They're in 10th. Werder Bremen is part of 3 teams with 22 points. They're in 9th. Borussia Dortmund are in 8th. Mainz are in 7th. Stuttgart are with their win over in Heidenheim are up to 6th now with 23 points. Freiburg in 5th with 24. RB Leipzig and Eintracht Frankfurt are both at 27 points. Leipzig are in 4th. Frankfurt are in 3rd. Frankfurt have the goal difference. Bayer Leverkusen on a little bit of a roll now. They're in 2nd with 29 points. Bayern Munich is first in 33 points. We'll go into around the Bundesliga matchups because this is where we can really start to see shit get weird. The best if you're neutral, we'll lay eyes on this. Friday, 2:30 p.m., Bayern Munich, RB Leipzig. I'd love this to be a meteor match. But
give me 1-1. Give me 1-1. I want to draw on this. as much as I would love to be able to have the chance of coming within a win of Bayern, I don't want Leipzig getting 3 points out of this. Give me a draw in this match, man. Please.
Because this is perfect. Like, this is also if there's a team that can really smash and grab in Munich and keep the defense going, RB Leipzig's that team.
100%.
To admit it.
Yeah.
But they might be able to do that. There's our match at 9:30, which we were going to preview on Saturday the 21st, along with 4 others at 9:30. Hoffenheim, Mönchengladbach, Holstein Kiel, Augsburg, St. Pauli go to VfB Stuttgart, Werder Bremen, Union Berlin, Bayer Leverkusen, Freiburg at 12:30. And then Sunday's got 2 matchups, Bochum, Heidenheim at 9:30, Wolfsburg, Borussia Dortmund at 11:30. Wolfsburg already has a win over Borussia Dortmund in the Pokal. Any other matchups that you want to eyeball?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Friday's matchup is insane. Bayern, Leipzig. I mean, hate both of them, but it's going to be a must-watch for anyone. Leipzig have kind of figured their shit out recently. I think our match against Mainz is going to be a really good one. We'll talk about that in a second. I think Werder Union can be a really if I were a neutral wanting to watch a single game in that early time slot, I might choose Werder Union between us and Mainz, though. And then obviously Leverkusen Freiburg is going to be a really good one. Leverkusen, if Leipzig get a result, they could end up within a win of Bayern for the title. They've really come on in recent times. And then you look at the Sunday games. I mean, yeah, Bochum, Heidenheim, it's a relegation battle, but Bochum have been so terrible. I mean, I don't see the rest.
Well, but Heidenheim haven't had a win in league play in a while. So
but they don't have to play in Europe this week. Right. So, I mean, neither does anyone in Europe because Europe is taking the break now. But they are definitely heavily hurting from that, and I think having that week off is going to be enough for them to beat a very bad Bochum side. And then, yeah, you've got Wolfsburg, Dortmund. Dortmund has been bad on the road all year. Wolfsburg already beat them in the Pokal earlier, although it took extra time. Still could be a very intriguing matchup. But Wolfsburg is playing really well. And Dortmund right now, they're outside of a European place, which is kind of wild to think about.
I predicted them for 6th out of spite, and they're lower than that.
They're now.
But I think that's going to be the tough thing in their particular. And yeah, like you're saying with Bayer Leverkusen, like they couldn't inform, they could be with a win, and a Bayern draw, they're 2 points back. With a win and a Bayern loss, they're 1 point back.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, it's kind of interesting because this has been talked about in a lot of different circles on a few different podcasts. Like, people are really praising the job that Vincent Kompany has done with Bayern Munich this year. And while I think that he has the team playing better football, they are on fewer points this year at this point in the season than they were last year.
Yeah.
Just the teams around haven't been doing as much. And it's something like there's so much positivity in that club right now that almost feels unwarranted because they are not dominating at the levels that you would expect Bayern to want to dominate.
Another thing, too, when you look in the Champions League play, which is the Bayern Munich bread and butter, granted, this is the first year of the table. There's only one German team right now when it comes to the Champions League, as I try to find my phone charger so we don't die on video. So my phone is recording. Bayer Leverkusen is the only team in the knockouts, in the auto, in the bye, in the Champions League. Bayern Munich are Borussia Dortmund, they are in the spots to, have to get through, but have to play the two-legged playoff.
To be fair, they are in the top 2 spots of that, and there are 2 matches to play.
Right.
Yes,
but
I agree with the point, though.
Started off, won their last 3 after starting 1 and 2. And then, RB Leipzig are completely bottomed out of the Champions League. 6 losses.
They are officially eliminated. Unfortunate for the coefficient. Fortunate for any fan of football, let's be real. But
yeah, who's also eliminated? Salzburg.
Yeah, Salzburg. I was gonna say they were on the edge. I wasn't sure if they were fully eliminated or not, but yeah, they are.
VfB Stuttgart is 1 point out with 2 matches left from getting in that spot. They are level on points with Paris Saint-Germain. So, and for also those that are wondering, Manchester City also near the bottom of those spots too. I'm just saying it's a good time to be, if you're a neutral, it's a good year as a neutral to see a little bit more parity going on in the world. A little bit, not too much, but not as much as maybe we'd want, but this plays into that.
Yeah, I think that that this new league format has definitely contributed to that a little bit, but I do think the overall factor with this league table is a lot of these teams have played so many fucking games over the past 3 years. Like, a lot of these top teams just they can't keep up with the amount of games.
Add to the fact too, you have had in the span the players that have played Europe international tournaments, a World Cup in
Yeah.
A World Cup in a season, nation. It's just a lot of football. So eventually, this is where, there's a saturation. Speaking of a saturation, the Rhine-Main. Back to the main topic. 9:30 Saturday morning Eastern Time, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain, 6:30 Pacific. Frankfurt, Mainz, the Waldstadion. Last match of 2024. 4 matches coming in without a win. All competitions, 2 in a row in the Bundesliga. You got a Mainz side that is, other than the 4-3 loss at Wolfsburg, their last loss in league play was October 19th to Leipzig. So, I mean, they found their groove. They've bagged 3 goals in 3 instances in the league. 2 against Bayern. One of them was a loss, the Wolfsburg. So their last 5 Bundesliga games, 3 goals scored, 3 goals scored, 2 goals scored, 3 goals scored, 2 goals scored. A little bit better to like us, similar defensively and conceding. So this could be an open matchup. This will be a physical matchup. It's Frankfurt Mainz. Shenanigans are going to be in there. Is Dominic Kor playing?
Yes, he is not suspended for this game. Somehow, I mean, the guy's got 7 yellow cards on this season.
He's playing a center back. He's a back 3 center back.
Well, he's halfway playing there. He's playing a lot of center mid too. I mean, the guy though, he's what, 12, 13 cards away from the all-time Bundesliga record. It's absolutely wild. I think he's gonna beat it easily. I mean, what is he, about 30 years old, 31 maybe?
Yeah, he's going to be 31 on January 31st.
Yeah, I think he's playing it for at least 4 more years, and he got 13 yellow cards last year. He has 7 this year already, and if he needs less than 20 to beat the record, I think he's got that shit in the bag. What a player! I can't believe this guy is. He's such like an okay defensive midfielder too. Like, he's not even a good defensive midfielder.
You know who would be proud of his yellow card accumulation? Gelson Fernandez.
Oh, Jesus. Oh my!
There's my fucked up Frankfurt reference of the day. All right. Let's not go into like if Frankfurt wins this, so they need to do this. If Mainz needs to do this, let's do that. It's Christmas time, for fuck's sake. So at the end of the day, what do you think the scoreline's going to be? You could maybe talk why you think the scoreline's going to be, and who are our goal scorers, provided we're going to get our head out of our ass and score goals tonight on Saturday.
I'll be honest. I'm not going to predict a win in this one. I think that Bo Henriksen has that Mainz team playing so well. I hate watching it because of how much I hate Mainz, but they're playing incredible football, honestly, and like they are objectively a really fun team to watch. I think that Bo Henriksen has them playing amazing football, even better than Bo Svensson had them playing. And like I think Bo Svensson had them playing good football.
For those wondering what Bo Svensson football's like, take a look at what Union and Berlin are doing this year, where the intent is there. Sometimes the execution isn't there, but you can see what they're trying to do.
Yeah, 100%. And Bo Svensson somehow had better attacking players with a Mainz squad with a less budget than an Union squad. That, of course, obviously doesn't have a budget as well, but one that had the Champions League budget. But that doesn't really matter. I think ultimately Mainz is going to beat us 3-2. I don't see a victory in this game. Mainz is absolutely rolling. Their only defeat recently was that 4-3 defeat against Wolfsburg that happened last second on an almost offside header on a free kick. So I think we're in a rut right now. I think that rut is going to continue. I think we're going to get out of that rut come the new year, but I think it's going to take a few games for it, and I just don't see a victory here. And quite frankly, I don't mind losing this game because I don't think this team is a title contender, right? Ultimately, this team's highest expectations going into the year were to compete for Champions League. Because of how high-performing we had been early in the season, all of a sudden, the talk becomes, oh shit, can we compete for the Meisterschale? Because obviously we want the Meisterschale. The last time we won it was before the Bundesliga was even created. So obviously we all want that so badly.
The only other time that was the closest chance was 1991-92, where they unfortunately the team took a photo with in the event of it with this there, and they went to a already relegated Hansa Rostock. Needed, I think, just a draw or anything, a favorable result, and lost that game despite having many different chances. Go watch the Amazon Prime documentary Soccer Episode 3 Chances, I believe, to fully see the reference points. I'm working on the last time I saw that like 4 years ago, so hopefully I'm right in that fucking title. Point being is pie in the sky. But I think the problem is we've seen the ebbs and flows of this. If anything, the best way to describe the Eintracht Frankfurt side is streaky.
Yeah.
Because before being winless in your last 4 matches, they had won seven in a row. Results in 8 of the last 9. And just playing good football, really, for the most part. But then you go into a shit house on a midweek night in a Pokal who are trying to fight for their boss. Start off flat. You make a change because Teat was out, and we didn't make the right moves in there. I think, in hindsight, would Dino have put a right-footed player on the left side and Christensen in the back? Probably not, again. But, if you take a look at how that the first Leipzig match started and how the Lyon match started, a little bit of similarities. The only difference is Frankfurt took the lead in Lyon briefly, and then, we have to be on the front foot. If we try to sit back and be calm, we see the Frankfurt of last year, the side that we tend to They drove us fucking insane at times. And that's being sixth place and qualifying for secondary competition. So you picked 2-3. Who were your goal scorers?
Well, I didn't pick any for us yet. I know that Ekitike was kind of absent in this past game against Leipzig, so I think he turns that around. I think he gets a goal. I know I've said it's a losing effort. And then I'll go with Sean Houston. I really like the way he's played. He's getting more involved in the play. His outside the boot assist to Nathaniel Brown for our one goal against Leipzig was amazing. And of course, his goddamn Thunder expletive goal.
Was that you referencing what I described the Openda Pokal goal as?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not going to say the exact words, but yeah. So I think that Sean Houston gets the other goal despite us losing.
So, fun fact, I was taking a look at FOTMOB for our league stats. Omar Marmoush has, of Eintracht Frankfurt's goal total in the Bundesliga, which is 34, Omar Marmoush has 20 contributions already, 13 goals, 7 assists. Hugo Ekitike has 10, 7 goals, 3 assists. Einsgar Knopf has a goal and 4 assists. And Nathaniel Brown, who has been a emergence, a shock piece. You went 2-3. I'm gonna say we're gonna go into the Christmas period on a good note. So don't let me down, Dino and lads. I'm not gonna pick a clean sheet. I only picked a clean sheet for the Frauen, because they will deliver. And also the last time I feel like I picked a clean sheet for the men, it was at fucking home last year. So, Aladu broke our hearts, man. That's all I gotta say.
And yeah, that was a moment.
That match sucked.
Wait, what the fuck is he up to this year?
Is he he's not at home?
I haven't seen anything. You referencing him made me realize I haven't seen anything about him this year.
I'm about to look and see what the hell this guy's.
I might also.
What the hell is he doing? Oh, he's at Verona, Hellas Verona, in Serie A.
That's right. He did go there. Talk about another team that is trash. I don't hate them or anything, but they are not a good side, and he's not getting minutes there. Like, I have watched a number of Verona games this year, and I have yet to see Friday Aladu feature for them.
We're at the time
relegation battle.
Yeah. Real quick, because we barely talk about Italian football, and as much as I'm happy about Atalanta still being top of Serie A, this is going to be the happiest I'm ever going to be about an Inter Milan win. Facts,
dude. They smacked shit out of fucking Lazio today.
Lazio or Nazio, as John's referred to him as, Lazio 0, Inter Milan 6.
And I hate Inter. I really don't like them. They're my third least favorite team in Italy, behind, obviously, Lazio is my least, Juve second, Inter third. So I really hope that Atalanta can continue their hot form, but today puts Inter ahead of them on goal difference, and they've got a game in hand on them now in the title races, and Italy has a hell of a title race, even in the Bundesliga.
So there's a little bit of joy and happiness out of there. But yeah, so that was the for 2, -1 for me. Nathaniel Brown continues. He's gonna get 1 because he's been playing lights out. He's been a bright spot. Then I'm gonna go Hugo Ekitike. That's gonna be my second one on there. I'd love to get Omar Marmoush to get like another goal in there before the season, but man, he was
due for a down period, and I think that Ekitike, after pretty much being completely absent in this game against Leipzig, I think he's going to be a lot more up for it. I think that's a good call. A couple things I want to touch on before we go here, because I know we're approaching the end. Ebembe, once again, was not in the squad for this game. I know that on the week it was kind of put off as like a flu/sickness kind of thing, and then he wasn't in the squad again for Sunday. I think it's pretty apparent that he's gone in the winter. I will be sad to see that. I really like Ebembe as a player, and I wanted to see him succeed here. And I think that he genuinely enjoys playing for this club. But, you know, if he's not doing the work and training and stuff's happening, then it's fine to move on. And it's not like he's some player that we need to have. So it looks like he's going to move on. And there were a lot of talks today about Ruben Vargas from Augsburg. And he's a, 26-year-old right left winger, whatever, winger from Augsburg, Swiss international. He's played a lot of games for Augsburg, a lot of games for Switzerland.
Scored against us in April, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, he has scored against us in the past. This year hasn't been the greatest year for him, but he is a player that has done well against us in the past, and a player that just in general is a very good Bundesliga player. His contract ends in the next summer, so it's possible that we move for him in the winter, and that fee would be 2 million euros at the most. And for a decent 26-year-old winger who wouldn't be like a focal piece, that would be such a great deal. And I think he would bring a lot of experience to a side that's one thing we're lacking. Like, we have so much talent on this side, but we don't have the Bundesliga experience. And I'm not usually one of those kind of people that values that so much more, but when you can get someone who brings that for not an expensive price, why would you not explore that? Especially when they're a quality player too.
I think it'll also be important to take a look and see, come January, some other players that, like Nathaniel Brown wasn't in the Europa League squad to start off. I think he's going to be in after the group.
He has to be.
And it also makes me think about some other players I'm thinking of lately for Eintracht Frankfurt. I'm thinking of like who have been kind of struggling lately in some areas, or who have not had their clasp on their squad role as much as they used to have. You talked about Dina and Bembe because he's barely featuring. I'm also looking at, what about a guy that's just like this Niels Nkuku? Is that a guy that you might be seeing maybe getting like potentially loaned out or something like that? Because now you have Arthur Teat, you got Nathaniel Brown.
I see where you're going with Nkuku. I just don't see it. I think that he's still featuring enough, and I think that he still has enough to offer in a couple different roles that he stays. But I see where you're coming from in that.
His place isn't as guaranteed. His place in a regular starting lineup is not as guaranteed as it was last year.
No. Because of the emergence of Nathaniel Brown, his place is not guaranteed at all. And that is not just a praise on Nathaniel Brown, because he's been amazing. It is also a knock on Niels Nkuku. I still like Nkuku. I think he's still a decent player, but he clearly has not performed to the level that you need a guy to perform to be a starting left back or a starting left wing back or left midfielder in the Bundesliga. Nathaniel Brown, he's played, 7 fucking games and gotten almost 7 goal contributions in those games.
Right.
And played better football than Niels Nkuku has in all of those games. Yeah, Nkuku has had good appearances here and there, but he's not consistently playing to a high level, whereas Brown is. Teat is.
And on European match days, he's proven to be a liability.
Yeah,
so
for sure. And that's the biggest thing. I think he's played well in league and not well in Europe. And for an Eintracht Frankfurt, you need to be able to play well in both.
Right. So, plenty to see. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Saturday. Way to end the year. My phone might be near dying, so we're going to go into ways to promote the show. Hefpod.com, all the map, prior episode history, everything you can find in there. This YouTube channel, Frankfurt Podcast. If you're checking on video form, hit the like, subscribe. More people, the better. HEF Pod on Twitter, heffpod.bsky.social. I'm glad I got it nailed off the top of my head. Producer Nathan's going to be so proud. Shout outs locally. Miles in Chicago for the branding. Love them all except for him being a Blackhawks fan. Matt, Instagram, New York, crushing it. Condolences to your Jets. Although, shit, their Jets beat your Jaguars. Sorry, John.
Hey, it's fine. That's fine. Mac Jones was a goddamn meme that game. The way he celebrated all these first downs he ran for, and then he throws a fucking last-second interception to lose the game. I couldn't be more of a Mac Jones hater but lover at the same time because he didn't deserve to win that goddamn game. I mean, the dude, I could not take him seriously that whole game. It was so funny to watch. And, well, yes, as someone who, theoretically you want a team to do worse to get a better draft pick, I've seen the Jaguars screw up so many top draft picks. I don't care at this point. I want us to win football games. Every football game we have the chance to, but I couldn't even be mad at the end of that game. It was just too funny.
Brian, I mean, your Chiefs won. Let's see if Mahomes is actually hurt. Producer Nathan, lose. Let's see what happens hockey-wise. Chris and I are suffering as Lions fans. We're not so much suffering about the loss. We were due to lose a game. 3 more injuries. Whatever. It's going to be the greatest story ever told in the NFL history come February. But that's all about it. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, Blue Sky at GM Comas. John, where they can find you at?
Yeah, Twitter, Ben_Jben. Instagram, JohnBen33. And Blue Sky, JohnBen.bsky.social.
Thanks as always for everybody that's been checking out all of our great stuff here, both in the HefPod episodes, the recap on YouTube. We might get one more in before the Christmas holiday, maybe not. If not, all the best to everybody this holiday season. Wish everybody the best, healthy, safe, peaceful with those near and dear to you. We talked about joy and pain, Eintracht Frankfurt, all levels on there, the ghost of Diva past, present, and hopefully the future, good and bad. We'll see what happens in the future. Until next time, so long and farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, auf der, tschüss, and Fórza SGE.
It's honestly one of the most fun sides I've ever watched play football.
Top of the table with 38 goals scored and 5 goals allowed. Eintracht Frankfurt, Frauen.
I mean, look, let's be real. We're going for the double this year, right? Like, that's our goal.
Hey, Eintracht Frankfurt, la 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 la. Hey, Eintracht Frankfurt, la 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 la.